What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 61 of the Pentagon Challenge. Hopefully you guys are good. If you missed last episode, go check it out. As always, it was the Copa Sudamericana semi-finals and it was a pretty good episode, pretty intense, so go check that out as always. But anyway, today we're going to be wrapping up the end of the season. The last proper league update I gave you guys, I believe, was... oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I'm going to take a stab and think it was the Nautico game was the last one. Obviously, we did the Copa Sudamericana last episode, so I'm going to remove that from the equation. So, looking at the last few games, we only had 8 games left, I believe, of the season anyway, after last episode. So, the episode before last, I covered all the league form for kind of the summer. Today, going to be closing up the season, talking about the club as a whole. A few things which I've forgotten to mention in previous episodes, which we'll come on to in due course. But anyway, we kicked off this run of form going into the end of the season with a 3-0 win against Nautico. In this game, Kenneth Barber and Aziz Samba came good for us, playing well. We were the better team during this game. And not a lot more can be said here. Route 1 football, Kenneth Barber with the finish, the Nigerian. This was an example of one of these games where we've actually been clinical. It's something that we've struggled with throughout this year. There's been so many games where we'd create bags of chances, so many chances we'd create, and yet for whatever reason we just couldn't quite seem to bury enough of them to get the win. Sometimes we'd bury one and draw, a game that we never should lose and never should really drop any points with, but because they score one goal because they are more clinical and our forwards just aren't performing, we end up, dropping points. But this was one of the nice examples where that didn't happen for us, and this was a really good 3-0 win. We really kind of displayed our dominance over the side. Poor pass back there, and Aziz Samba getting the goal for us. Centre attack in mid, he's been superb for us this year, and he's kept Wellington Nem out the side, which gives you an idea of how good he's been. On the back of this, we got 2 1-1 and 0-0 draws, respectively. The Cruzeiro one was a really good result, actually, away from home. It's never easy to go to Cruzeiro, but we did our job here. We got a 1-1 draw in the end. They took the lead, I do believe. I want to say they took the lead. I'm going to feel silly now if they didn't take the lead. But I think they took the lead, and then we got a goal back, which is good, obviously. That was a great goal by them. Our keeper was a tad unlucky, but... their player went for crazy backflips, as you've just seen. That was something special. But we did reply soon after. Souza, the 6'7" centre-back, winning the ball, getting the ball in the air, and scoring from the set-piece to make it 1-1. So that was a good result against a team really high up in the league. On the back of this, we got a 3-0 win against Atletico Mineiro. Aputa getting 2 goals here. He's had his chances, Aputa. He came in when I first came to the club. I got him in on the cheap. He's a really good creative force in midfield. 20 passing and 15 creativity is an incredibly unique traits to have on this kind of player. If he was only more athletic, he would be certainly one of the best players in probably the league, but he doesn't quite have kind of that turn of pace that other centre attacking and centre mids have. But this year he has done the job for us, 8 assists in 23, and he's done the job for us. Following on from this great 3-0 win, however, we had what was probably one of the worst results of the season, in all honesty. A 3-0 defeat away to Flamengo. They got 3 goals. They were the better side. This is one of the few games where I can honestly say we got completely outplayed off the park. We simply weren't good enough on the day. They took the lead here from the set piece before half-time, and 2 goals after half-time in quick succession meant that the comeback was beyond us, to be honest. It was a wake-up call. This season we've been flying and we've been overperforming so much, and this kind of game really slapped us down and made us realise, hang on a minute, we're not this kind of untouchable force. Despite what we might think and despite the way we've been playing, and they were just the better side in every department. They played better than us. Poor defending there, 3 centre-backs in a mix-up, really epitomised this performance. And they got their final goal from the set-piece, ball not properly cleared again, and just poor defending, if in all honesty. Easy ball in, and another goal that looks very similar, with people just not picking up their men in the centre. So that was that 3-0 defeat. Tough to take. Fortunately for us, we finished up the season with some really solid results. 3-1 was a good result against Gorani. I don't know some of these names. I know people hate my pronunciations of words. It was kind of an in-joke to begin with at the start of this series as I went to China and Argentina to start, but now it's getting a bit intense, this. But yeah, 3-1 win there. A 0-0 draw against Internacional. Poor performance again. We really kind of slumped off towards the end of the season. However, we did end things with a win away against Palmeiras, perhaps getting a little bit of revenge on the fact that we lost to them in the Copa Sudamericana. In this game, we were the better side. We came back from a goal down to take the lead, 3-1. They got a goal back with just a minute left on the clock. Too little, too late for them. We outplayed them off the park. It was a good game. It was close. It was competitive, but we were strong here. And this is kind of it disappoints me, I guess, that we can go from losing against Flamengo, a weak team and a struggling team, to then bounce back and win 3-2 against Palmeiras. A team who, in all honesty, are a very good side, as they displayed last episode in the cup. But it was a good comeback by the lads. Gabriel here with the ball into the box. Kenneth Barba showing his aerial dominance. The Nigerian grabbing the goal. And then on the back of this, 2 more goals in quick fire succession came in the 60th minute onwards. Here you can see Wellington Nem getting a rare start for him, getting the ball into the box, and Alex with the finish. Quality little finish for a centre-back, to be honest. Straight into the roof of the net. And then we did get one more goal, which I think came near enough straight from kick-off, which pretty interesting to see. Win the ball back here in a second. We just looked hungry for it. You can see how much our players were really up for this game. I got them fired up at half-time. Obviously, going in 1-0 down was tough, but the players really did turn it around in the second half, and credit has to go for them and to them for that. But we won the ball here. Kenneth Barba fed through Poison, who's very athletic, and he's never going to get beaten in that kind of situation. Open field ahead of him, ran ahead. 3-2 it finished. So yeah, all in all, looking at the league table, in the end we only finished 7 points off Corinthians and 5 off Cruzeiro. If we hadn't drawn as many as we did, we'd be right up there. We probably could have even snatched it at the death, if I'm honest, and won the league, which is, I guess, hard to take. What I can look at is kind of our good scoring record. We scored joint most in the league, along with Corinthians. It's a shame our defensive record wasn't quite up to scratch, but the fact we only lost 4 was a good sign. And in all honesty, we probably could have, should have, and maybe would have scored a lot more in another season. So that's that. I know this is something that I'm going to say now before I forget, but the club is still in the process of a takeover. There was one in, I think, the springtime that I mentioned. That one collapsed. There was another takeover that happened kind of late summer. That one collapsed. Currently, the club is under a bid, which is looking like it's going to be accepted. So it's only a local businessman, unfortunately, I believe. But it'll be nice to get a new owner. That is one thing I need to come on to. Financially, our club is not looking very good. You'll see here we've made big losses. I'm not going to get a lot of money transfer budget-wise next season, or wage budget, if I'm honest. Probably going to have to take a few players off my books. But my main aim this kind of winter is just to keep the core of this squad the same. Try and keep as many of these players together as possible, because certainly going forward, I think that's going to be key. I kind of feel like this squad could potentially win, or at least really contest and compete in the Copa Libertadores next season. We've got some great results this season, and I feel like the players can do something more next season. We just have to push on and kind of take it to the next level. But all in all, I'm happy with the squad. Top performers this year. Top appearance maker in the end was Alex, with 74 games in a calendar year, which is insane. On the goal scoring charts, Kenneth Barba got top goal scorer with 28 goals in 53. Aziz Samba followed it up. This central attacking midfielder had a great season this year. Superb attacking player anyway. He has good finishing, good composure, and decent off the ball, which all kind of shows in his style of play. And he did the job. He was huge for us. He turned up, created, and he kept Wellington Nem out the first team. I mean, Nem did get 19 appearances still, but he's unhappy he's not getting enough first team football. But in all honesty, Samba's just been the better player in terms of form, and you can't argue with it. I mean, you look at these two players comparatively, Samba's better than Nem in pretty much all areas, and he's turning out to be a great bit of business, Samba. Obviously, he only came in a few years ago, and he's doing the job for us. He's doing the business. Third top goal scorer was Ancheta, the El Salvadorian. He's a good player. And Ricardo Poison here, the Argentine, also getting on the kind of, I guess, honours list for this season in terms of goals. And Ramon, the left back, as well, did a decent job for us. 9 goals isn't too bad from defence, and good contribution by him. On the assist front, Samba, Gabriel, Fabio, Barba and Ramon all contributed double figures in the assist department. Team's looking really strong all in all. Top performer this year in terms of form and in terms of average rating was Fabio. In 17 appearances he made an average rating of 7.44 across all competitions, which is a great little shift for him. He's been a good player this year. Not got as much first team football because Samba's been playing well. Araujo also appears on the top appearance kind of charts. Ramon's kept this guy out the first team. Ramon is younger and better, it has to be said. It's a tricky one, you want to play players who are in form, but Ramon wasn't out of form at the end of the day, and he wasn't injured, and so Araujo really didn't get kind of a first team opportunity. He did make 27 appearances, so I suppose he did get his chance, but compared to, say, Ramon's 55 appearances, obviously, there is a big gap in kind of difference between those amount of appearances. Aziz Samba would probably get my player of the season, if I'm honest. This guy's been superb for us from midfield. Dislocated his shoulder at the end of the season, which was a little bit disappointing, but 40 appearances, 18 goals and 10 assists, and 5 player of the matches and an average rating of 7.43 speaks for itself. He's been superb. So yeah, that's that. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in the pre-season. I don't know who's going to be coming in. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow, I guess. We'll see what comes of kind of pre-season, what happens with this board takeover. I've just kind of got to, I guess, sit it out and just wait it out and just see what the outcome is. But anyway, yeah, guys, hopefully you found this video entertaining as always. End of the season was a good season for us in reflection. Obviously, top 5 was the aim. To finish 10 points within the top 5, which was kind of the target, as I've said, was a superb little achievement for us, and certainly something that I hope we can capitalise on and build on next year, despite the fact we may lose a face or two. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Obviously, this has been episode 61 of the Pentagon Challenge. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.